Joining us now is a very special guest, author of 5 Minutes Past Midnight, and of course also Freedom by Midnight. Dominique Lapierre joins us. All the proceeds of his book have been given to the Bhopal gas victims. Appreciate your joining us there, sir, from Bhopal today. Your thoughts 25 years later, do you feel that same sense of anger and that the people have not been provided justice 25 years on?
I do, and I share that anger. I had the fortune to spend 3 years of my life to write this book, 5 Minutes Past Midnight in Bhopal, to tell how the city of Bhopal, a beautiful city, has suffered this tragedy. I've met so many of the victims. I became friends with them. I decided to give all my royalties to the creation of a clinic called the Sambhavna Clinic, which for the first time gives a treatment, an efficient treatment, to some of the women who have been affected by this tragedy. But today my anger comes from the fact that after 25 years, the toxic effluent which have been left around the factory after the night of the 3rd of December 1984 are still there. Every time it rains, those toxic effluents go into the underground water supply, which supplies to the wells, and people are obliged to drink a poisoned water 25 years after the tragedy.
Mr. Lapierre, but it seems nothing has moved on. It's not just that toxicity that's still leaching into the water supply there in Bhopal. We see the same protests every year marking the anniversary of the gas tragedy. But even so, we see no justice for the victims. None of the Union Carbide American officials have ever actually testified in court. What do you think it'll take to bring people like Mr. Anderson to court to see a full-fledged trial take place?
But you know, for me, it's not to bring Mr. Anderson to court, which is the most important. It's to work on the field itself, cleaning those toxic effluents, giving medical help and support to the victims. The Sambhavna Clinic, created by Mr. Sarangi, is a marvel. And for the first time, women are given more than an aspirin tablet to cure their disease. Some have cancers of the cervix. Some children today are still being born malformated. We don't know, as you said, how many generations this gas will remain in the genes of the victim. But for me, it's not bringing Mr. Anderson in front of a court that will change that scandal. We have to change that scandal in the city of Bhopal itself. And I am all with the victims who are asking for a bit of justice today. And I will continue to be their brother and continue to help them as much as I can.
Do you believe this is now though a fight which has only been fought through NGOs and not by the government? The Prime Minister has just issued a statement about an hour ago saying he feels for the victims of Bhopal. The government will do whatever it can for them. Do you believe the government is the one to blame and the NGOs have had to take that space? But even within the NGOs, some vested interests have developed over 25 years.
Well, you know, when I received 1 year ago the Padma Bhusan, a very rare distinction award given to a foreigner, I had the privilege to have a nice talk with the Prime Minister of India, a man that I respect enormously, Mr. Manmohan Singh, and I implored him to create a commission empowering, really an empowering commission to solve the problems of the victim. And he promised that they would create that commission. That commission has been created. But locally in Bhopal, I understand that some local authorities are trying to prevent this commission to do what they should do, to give to the victims at last a possibility to exercise their rights to safety, their rights to receive the compensation to which they are entitled. You know, you have to come to Bhopal to understand what distress this represents for so many people. I've walked with them tonight with these torches in the streets. I am sharing their plight. They are magnificent people, this woman, Rashida Bai, and her friends have walked from Bhopal to Delhi to express their demands. Their demands must be heard, either by Dow Chemicals, who today owns Union Carbide, and also by the Indian government. Because they represent the most sacred thing in India, the life of the young generation.
Absolutely. Mr. Lapierre, we have to leave it there, but of course 25 years later, children still being poisoned by the toxicity of that Union Carbide plant there.
Quick reminder that tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m., we have a special report coming to you from Bhopal. It's chilling report, but it's in your face. It's coming to you 8:30 p.m. tomorrow on CNN-IBN.